Hello everybody and welcome back to the CD Toledo Youth Academy Challenge. We're not signing any players at all and we're seeing if we can get CD Toledo up to La Liga, win La Liga and win the Champions League. It's going to be tough. This is the end of Season 4 review. Oh, I need a cough. Yes, hello everybody, and now I've got that cough out the way. It is the end of Season review. So how did it go for CD Toledo? Well, there were no new arrivals. There never are. But we did lose Javier Navarro to Intercity. He actually didn't do very well for them, and they got relegated. So shows him the grass isn't always greener. Crisondo and Endika left as well as more experienced players that we're shuffling out of the club, let's say, just trying to get them to move away. But yeah, season's results not bad at all. 10th position, bog on, that's not a phrase, bang on mid-table. 50 points from 38 games. We were 21 points off the playoffs and 14 points above relegation. So still a lot of work to do. We are losing too many games, but we're not drawing as many, and I think I prefer that, because if you're drawing less, the win percentage goes up ever so slightly as well. So it just shows though how tough it is to get out of this division. I mean, Alicante came down, they've gone straight back up. Talavera are going up into the playoffs. Castellon, Valencia B, Catenja, all up there as well. So it's tough. And then you look at the teams that didn't even make the playoffs, Sevilla and Real Betis B, both very good teams in this division as well. So it's a tough situation to be in. We're not selling out our attendances either, so we've got a bit of room for improvement there. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting sort of season next season, I think. But the biggest win was 4-1 against Vélez. Costa got one, Costinho with two, and Huertas with a penalty. The match, remember, was a 3-1 away win at Ibiza, which was very nice. Constantino, Costa and Uri Perez with the goals there. And then the goal of the season was scored by Costa, who provided a perfect finish to an excellent team move by scoring a low drive, which is interesting. But Costa, I think Costa was our top scorer in the league. We'll get on look at that in a minute. But he's in a position where I think the youngsters we've got coming through are better. So we'll have a look. But yes, you can see no real change to reputation as of yet. Shirt sales, Alba got the most. He's leaving on a free transfer, so that's annoying. Uri Perez, Sagado, Constantino and Lozano up there as well. A slight drop off in sponsorship, but broadcast revenue, as I mentioned, I think at the last episode or at the beginning of the season, weirdly this season, broadcast money seems to have come in to the game. So it is there and it has gone up as well, which is good. Corporate and hospitality went up, no competition prize money, and match day commercial revenue went up as well. So we lined up in the 3-3-2-2, however you want to call it, which I think is a system we are probably going to abandon this year. I feel like we've got players coming through now that aren't going to sit or suit this system, or may suit a back four a little bit better. So we'll have a look at that after we just finish this review bit. But yeah, you can see the two strikers getting the most. Yeah, 14 goals for Costa, 12 for Constantino. And as I said, I'm not sure they're going to be... Towards the back end of the season, we went with a partnership of Supreme Dave and Joe Page. So we'll have to see how that goes. But assist-wise, 11 for Tito Pelayo, so he's going to be crucial to what we do next year. 6 for Nicholas Myberg as well, stepping into the team, which was lovely. Into the accolades then, so we didn't get any sort of managerial awards, but Constantino got the Fans Player of the Year and the Young Player of the Year, getting a 7 rating overall. Costa was, he scored the goal of the season, and he was the top goal scorer with 14. Tito Pelayo was the top assister with 11. Alejandro Costa got the most player of the matches with 3. Constantino got the highest average rating with 7. And Juan Salas at the back got the most passes completed per 90, which was 58. So good for him. And then, yeah, most goals by a player in a match, Constantino. Most goals by a player in a match, Constantino. Tito Player got the most assists by a player in a season. Arda Sagado is the most league appearances by a player ever. Most league goals by a player is now Alejandro Costa with 58. Kazushi became the youngest player at the club from centre-back, 15 years old and 206 days. And Alejandro Costa scored the fastest goal of our club career, which is nice. But yeah, we looked good out of the blocks. Don't care about the manager timeline. We did look pretty good out of the blocks, if we see here. We did go up to like 5th, and there was talk of potential playoffs and things like that, and then it all sort of like evened itself out, and we were very consistent across the back half of the season. I think, yeah, what's this? This is halfway, so no higher than 8th and no lower than 10th. It's pretty pretty simple, really, isn't it? We were a mid-table team for the majority of the season, which I don't think is too bad of a position to be in, given that we are, what were we? I think we were bottom, 350 to 1 to win the league, and odds-on favourites to get relegated. So I really don't think it was that bad a season. We could be here a little while trying to build up from the First Division B, but we'll see how it goes. Looking at the squad, this is absolutely everybody that is in our squad system, and we do have a number of people that we're going to just bin off and get rid of. We've got a lot of people here that are never going to make it. Sort of 2-star silver stars and a 2-star player. So Jose Angel Caballero won't get a new contract. He's got a youth contract till 2031, so we could let him see that out at £55 a week. But that's where we need to balance squad size with money. Obviously, that £55 a week isn't much, but when you add up lots of people on £55 a week who you don't think are ever going to make it, it is going to then affect your wage budget. So yeah, we just need to keep an eye on that as well and see how we're going. But what I actually wanted to look at by showing you everybody on this page is, one, the amount of high potential players that we have at the club is utterly ridiculous. So we do need to start getting those played. But more importantly, personality wise, we have some crucial personalities in here. Now, you'll see lots of the patrons and channel members are in the game. I think there's only 2 people now that don't have a name in the game. But yeah, we have our model citizen, which is now Liam Hollick. You got the random draw of the spin wheel to see who got matched with what regen. So yeah, good work there. But we've got model citizens, professional, resolute, spirited, sporting, fairly determined, fairly professional stuff. Quite a few balanced people in here, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. A couple of unambitious ones, we'll probably keep those around for a while and look to mentor them, maybe to get them up towards balanced or potentially fairly professional as well. And then only what I would call bad personalities, right? Even jovial is now counted in this year's game as a good personality, so is light-hearted, to be honest. So I would say the only the sort of bad ones we have are these 5 or 6. So low determination for Castro and Llorente, low self-belief for Ramos, Amador is fickle, as is Martin Huertas, and Badilla down there is temperamental. Other than that, we actually are bringing through a good number of youth team players, which is really, really good. And I don't know if it's down to how good our head of youth development is, which is Michael Benito, who is someone we've recently brought in. Now, obviously, we can't see his personality behind balanced. We only know it as balanced. I don't know what sort of reference it is, but he is now wanted by someone else. His contract is going to expire, and I'm like, I don't know if we give him another chance at doing it. He's brought through a very good intake this year, but it's not really his intake. He was signed, well, I guess it was, because he's had 4 years here, so maybe this is his. I mean, we can't. I'm not going to sack him because we're going to try and keep him around because it's. He's brought through a good intake this year, isn't he? He's brought through a good intake, so we'll see how that goes and stick on that. But yeah, generally, I'm very, very happy with where we stand. I think we are going to have a bit of a cull in terms of some of these lower ranked players that are just never going to make it. And that's always a sad thing to do because you don't want to do it, but we have to watch the finances. We have to make sure that what we've got going on is fine and everything like that. So I think a number of Patreon's channel members are going to get into the first team squad next year. I do think we're going to be flooding that with a few more of them because they are the higher potential players, as we know. But yeah, we've got some to do. But what I wanted to do is very quickly just go through all this end of year stuff, and we'll see what we've got. So we actually lost 234 social media followers. The supporters do have a moderate influence over the board, which we've got to keep an eye on. We went up for family members and lost fair weather supporters. So I don't mind that because fair weather means they only come when you're performing pretty well, generally. I think that's what it means. Especially impatient for success. So yeah, a few more people coming along. The possession football, set pieces, high tempo pressing, that should be fine. Develop players using the club's youth system should be easy given this save. It's competitive against Talavera and attempt to avoid relegation. So we're still on attempt to avoid relegation. Now we're going to stick with this and all of this. So they still want us to repair the club's financial damage as well, which is always a tough one to do unless you get money from somewhere. But team leaders then, Sagado, Uro Perez and Pomeretta, who we're probably going to be letting go. Costa, Lozano and Constantino, highly influential. None of the Patreon and channel members making it in there. just yet. What do we want to achieve next season? Well, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to discuss, and so that I don't really annoy anybody, I'm going to say I've got nothing else to discuss, therefore they will get a slight little boost. In terms of new season team report, this is what it's saying we should line up with. So Supreme Dave and Constantino up front, Nicholas Myberg in there, Alba, Paleo, Cardenas, Huertas, Camero and Humalo in goal. So it's going to be an interesting situation, but I do think there's going to be quite a lot of change. I don't see us lining up like this next season at all. So pre-season, I get to pick. Let's put it on, let's just go 4 weeks. I don't want to overwork them too much. But if we go back and look at the squad, you'll see here, so contracts that are expiring, we only have 2 in the whole squad, which is Alba, who is going to be a big loss, but we've just got to deal with it and get on with it. It's a shame to be losing him. He does look like a good player. And Artur Sagado, 31-year-old holding midfielder. And we've actually been sort of easing both of these out of the first team, as you can see. So if we go and look at appearances for these guys, so 19 appearances for Sagado, 18 appearances for Alba as well. So if you think we play 38 league games in a season, that's about half of the season they've played. So we have been phasing them out pretty slowly. I think we're also going to try and let go some of the older guys as well. Pomeretta we may try and sell, even though he's got another year on his deal. Lozano at 32, he's a good player, but I think again we try and move him on. And then you get down to 26, 25, 25, 20, things like that. So I think that's what we need. It may be a mistake to try and move them on, but I think that's just what we have to go and do. I mean, Pomeretta is looking pretty decent. He's not looking too bad in there, but he lacks a lot of pace and he's been struggling this year. 17 appearances, not really a stalwart. So, and look at that progress, really, really dropping down. Still, he's getting to the end of his career. So, yeah, I think we just let him go, to be honest. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else I wanted to show you. Oh yes, my profile. So we can look at my profile. Our reputation is okay. Media handling is pretty poor, but consistency, hands-on approach, finances, discipline, loyalty, and domestic player bias is pretty good. To be honest, we do have I saw somewhere you could see that you had your win percentage, and my win percentage wasn't amazing. Oh, it's up here, isn't it? Yeah, win percentage 35%. Not amazing, but 154 games we've managed, 55 wins, 49 draws, 50 losses. It's all pretty even, to be honest. 267 goals for, 258 goals against. We do have a positive goal difference, which is nice, of 9. Yeah, I mean, our stats do need a lot of improvement. We have done a couple of coaching courses. We'll ask the board for another one. We are now up to a national C license, which is pretty good. But yeah, we need to figure out what we're going to do with the team. So something to point out, I've just realised as well, is that because I've got another save going on where I run lots of different tests and things like that so that I can see things out. Clicking on Pomeretta, I haven't looked at this for everyone, but there is, I'm all open and honest, you know that about my series. I did notice that you have this file here, so it can show potential and current ability. So I've obviously had that as part of something else. Now you can see we're not using the in-game editor, but this is just part of that stream. And you'll notice if you're watching the Duisburg save as well, it shows the DNA, and that's the one that I wanted to set, but where I'm doing the test on the other one, it showed the potential ability. So I don't know what everyone's potential ability is. I'm not going to look at that. That's a game ruiner. It's a spoiler. But again, putting it out there as honest as I possibly can, that is available in this skin. I'm not using it in this save. So yeah, we don't have to worry about that. But we do have a good, talking about potential, the potential in this club is utterly ridiculous. And you can see everybody here is a channel member or a Patreon. Martin Huertas isn't, who's 19, but we've got Matthew Bissett coming through as well. And a number of them are becoming very good players at the club, which I'm very, very excited about. So I'm intrigued to see what we're going to do next year. I think it might be a bit rocky to start because we're going to go for a new system. We're going to try and implement a new system at the end of this season. I've lined up friendly games against Atletico Madrid B, Elche, Leganes B and International de Madrid to start early doors getting our new system sorted, and I'm not decided on what that is yet. So when we come back for the start of the next season, we will be going through our tactic, seeing what it's working like. I'm thinking a 4 at the back. I'm thinking potentially an asymmetric system to try and get the best out of the wingers. I'm not sure. I need to figure out what I want to do. And do I want to go on the attack? Do I want to be a bit more balanced? I'm not sure. Generally, I found in this year's Football Manager that attacking is a little bit better to be positive or attack. But it all fits in with how you want your players to play and who you've got to do what. I mean, I'd quite like a lot of pace on the wings from the midfield, a lot of pace and hit around a big man, because that seems to work at these lower sort of levels. But it will be a tough season next season. We're going into season 5. If you've come over here from the forums as well, I'm changing it to not do a yearly review. I'm going to do a 5-yearly review on the forums, because then I can keep these going and keep it going. But if you want your name in the game, all you have to do is join the Patreon or the channel member and you'll get your name in the game. And to those that don't see your name in the game just yet, don't worry, we're doing it with every intake. And what we'll do is if you leave the club, we'll follow your career until you retire. And when your player retires, then you get your name back in the game through a youth intake that comes through our system. And we'll include reviewing those players that have left that are part of the channel membership or Patreon as part of the end of year review every year. But anyway, just a short little catch up for us on this end of year one. Thank you so much for watching. There should be streams coming back on Twitch pretty soon. Go and check out the Duisburg save. It's great fun where you guys and girls are picking policies that I have to implement in the game with forfeits at the end of every season if we don't do it. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Football Manager this year, I think, has been incredible. And I'm very much already excited about FM25 and I've loved FM24. I do think FM24 has probably been the favourite FM I've played. I think it's been really good fun. But anyway, I'm rambling. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you all for the continued support, the love, the enjoyment. It's been great. It's been really good. Let's get into season 5 and see if we can get that promotion up from the Spanish Federation First Division B. For now, I'm out. Cheers.